Hello YouTube. Today's weak point is going to be lower abs. And it's a weak point that I have to deal with, and therefore I want to let you guys know how I'm working around it and how you can too. As far as abs go, it's probably one of the most unfair muscle group for overall genetic predispositions because you can be born with only four visible abdominals. You can be born with six, or you can be born with eight. Certain people have what is called a eight pack, where you have eight muscles showing. Now, this is going to be very tough to discern for most people because you need both muscular development in the area and being lean enough to see all of them. So I guarantee you a ton of people will think they have a four pack, which in reality they have a six pack. And at least in my opinion, from what I've seen with most people and with me, the higher abs are visible faster. So the more you go down, the harder it is to see. And the reason why is because for males at least, you tend to store more fat around your waist. So the abs that are closer to the waist tend to have the most adipose tissue around them, while the ones who are higher don't. It's the reason why most people usually don't have fat deposits on top of their ribs. It's just an area of the body that doesn't store much fat. So the abs that are connected to the ribs are usually leaner, and it's the case for me. So whether you have a four pack or eight pack, you want that to show because having a very developed core and a very peeled core is very aesthetic for anyone, no matter what goal you might have. So, how to have your abs show, how to have your lower abs show. Well, the first one, and it's a no-brainer, it's diet. The less fat you have on the lower abs, the more they're going to be visible. For me, it's not what I'm going to be focusing on because I'm losing fat right now, but I'm not doing a cut, so I'm not losing a ton of fat. So that's not going to work for me. What's going to work for me is muscular development because even though I have less adipose tissue on the top four abs, there's still a lot of fat there because I'm high in body fat, and yet they show and they bulge through. And the reason why is because they're very developed. So I need to put in the work to develop my lower abs. And the reason why there's an imbalance here is because I really spent the first 5 years of my training only working the top four abs, and I've only recently started training the lower abs. So, what I personally do to combat that weak points, I do tons of leg raises. I personally feel doing them from a bar is better than from the floor because from the floor I still feel a ton of hips and I don't get that stretch at the bottom. Unless you do them from a bench, I guess, you're not going to be able to let your legs stretch down to stretch down the abs. So what I like is I hang from the pull-up bar and I do leg raises, I do knee raises, and I really focus on bringing the legs up, squeezing, and when the legs go down, I control the negative and I make sure that when my legs are perpendicular with the floor, they pull on my abs so that they stretch, and then I pull again. I use that stretch reflex. And I do that every day. I alternate between straight leg raises, and knee raises. And then I complement that with leg raises from the floor with a dumbbell. And that's pretty much all I'm doing for my lower abs. Now, I have to say that my favorite lower ab exercise of all time is personally the crunches on an inclined bench. Like when the bench is like this and you have something to put your feet here and you go down and you let your own body weight stretch the abs and then you pull back. That's amazing for ab development. The issue is these benches usually cost, if you want to buy a nice one that's going to last and is comfortable, at least $800, and they're big. I don't have the space on my platform for that, and they're not critical because when I buy an equipment, I want to be able to either use it very frequently or use it for other exercises if it's that expensive. And because this is so expensive, I'm only going to be doing abs on them. So the replacement I found is I do dragonflies. Now, I do not have the strength to do dragonflies properly. So the way I do them, I lay on the bench, I use the barbell to grab onto, I raise my body up, and I go through the negative. And when I get at the bottom, because I don't have the strength to actually do a dragonfly, I do a leg raise with the momentum to stretch the abs at the bottom and get it up again. And once the leg raise is complete, I go back into the dragonfly position. And I usually do that for sets of 10. And I find that that really helps with the lower abs too, so you can give it a try if you want. So if you're like me and most people and you don't have your lower abs showing, you can try the methods I shared with you. Let me know in the comments what you do for your lower abs. I'm always interested to hear your methods. And as always, have a good day.